Lift your head up. That vast darkness you see might actually be filled with a silent crowd. For thousands of years, we have looked at these stars and asked the same question: is there someone out there, or are we performing alone on this gigantic stage? The numbers scream that we are not alone. In our galaxy alone, the Milky Way, there are more than 200 billion stars, and around each of them, billions of planets orbit, planets that, just like Earth, may have the potential to host life. Statistically speaking, the universe should be teeming with life. Consider the age of the universe, 13.8 billion years. Humanity has been here for only a tiny fraction of that time. A civilization that emerged millions of years before us should have colonized the entire galaxy by now. Radio signals, massive structures, spacecraft, we should have found traces of them everywhere. But do you know what we actually have? A vast nothingness. We point our telescopes to the farthest corners, we press our ears to the deepest silence of the universe, but all we receive is static noise. In the scientific world, this is called the Great Silence. So, if everyone is out there, why haven't we heard anyone yet? Why are we so alone in the universe? If you're ready, we're diving into the theories behind this terrifying silence. The development of life is like an obstacle course. From lifeless matter to a cell, from a cell to complex life, and eventually to intelligent beings that use tools, scientists believe that at some point in this journey there is an almost impossible barrier to overcome. We call this the Great Filter. According to this theory, there is a wall that prevents intelligent life from spreading throughout the universe. If this wall lies ahead of us, it is very frightening news, because it would mean that every civilization inevitably encounters a catastrophe once it reaches a certain level of technological advancement. So what could this filter be? Perhaps a nuclear war, perhaps an out-of-control artificial intelligence, or maybe climate crises that render a planet uninhabitable. Perhaps as technology advances, every civilization also invents its own self-destruct button. Could the galaxy be a graveyard of civilizations that once existed but met their end before reaching the stars? There is a very critical question here. Have we already passed this filter, or are we heading toward it? If one day we discover ancient traces of life on Mars or another planet, even something as simple as a fossilized bacterium, it could be the worst news in human history, because it would prove that life is common in the universe but gets filtered out somewhere along the way. Maybe this is the reason for the silence. No one responds to our message because no one survives long enough to respond. Or what if the reason isn't a technological barrier at all, but a deliberate choice to remain hidden? Perhaps the problem is not that life is rare in the universe, but that we are still very small. Soviet astronomer Nikolai Kardashev placed civilizations on a scale based on the amount of energy they use. On this scale, humanity is still a Type 0 civilization, unable to even fully control the energy of its own planet. A Type 1 civilization can harness all the energy reaching its planet from its star. A Type 2 civilization captures the entire energy output of its own star. Imagine surrounding the sun with a massive shell and exploiting all that immense power. That's what we call a Dyson sphere. And what about Type 3? A civilization at this level controls the energy of an entire galaxy. Trillions of stars become their batteries. If such power exists, why don't we see them? A structure absorbing the light of a whole galaxy should appear as a massive dark void in our telescopes. Yet everywhere we look, stars continue to shine. Perhaps Type 3 civilizations do not communicate with us because, to them, we are as insignificant as an anthill. Or maybe they are so advanced that the technology they use is too natural or too hidden for our radio telescopes to detect. While we wait for signals, they might be using the ocean itself instead of the waves. Perhaps the universe is not silent, perhaps we simply do not have the right to listen. According to the zoo hypothesis, proposed in 1973 by astronomer John Ball, advanced civilizations are aware of our existence. However, they observe us quietly from a distance, choosing not to interfere with our natural development, just as we watch animals in the wild from behind glass. In this scenario, Earth is a kind of galactic preserve or laboratory. To them, we are still a primitive species that has not yet reached a level worthy of contact. Perhaps there is an unwritten rule in the galaxy: do not communicate with species that have not reached the stars on their own. Our radio signals might sound to them like the cries of a baby. But what if this silence is ever broken? Are the unexplained phenomena recorded throughout history simply moments when these observers were careless? Or are they testing us for a certain level of maturity? Perhaps they are waiting for us to end our internal conflicts and learn not to destroy our own planet before accepting us into a galactic community. This idea is both comforting and unsettling. It's reassuring to think we are not alone, but the notion that someone might be constantly watching us without our consent. Perhaps the silence is not due to technical limitations at all, but because we are in a deliberate quarantine. We are not searching for them, they are waiting for us to grow up. But there may be an even darker reason behind this silence. What if everyone is quiet because they are afraid of something? Now we step into the most terrifying scenario of all, the dark forest theory. Perhaps the most terrifying theory is the one we've yet to fully confront, the dark forest theory. According to this idea, the universe is like a dark forest where a hunter hides behind every tree. The only way to survive is to remain silent, because the moment you reveal your presence, you become a target for another hunter. Maybe the universe isn't silent at all, maybe everyone is just holding their breath to stay alive. No matter the outcome, one truth remains unchanged. For now, in this vast emptiness, all we have is each other. As Carl Sagan once said, that small blue dot is the only place where everything we know, everyone we love, and all of our history exists. Perhaps being alone only increases our responsibility in the universe. Maybe we won't receive the first message, maybe we will write it. As humanity, we are still at the very beginning of the journey. Perhaps thousands of years from now, our descendants will be the first to break this silence. Or maybe that silence is simply the universe's way of telling us, take care of yourselves. So what do you think? Have we already passed the great filter, or are we shouting in a dark forest full of hunters? In 1977, humanity launched its greatest message into the darkness, Voyager 1. On it, we recorded greetings in 55 languages, the laughter of children and the sound of the wind. It was like a small bottle thrown into a vast ocean, carrying a simple message. We were here. Perhaps it was both our most hopeful and most desperate cry against the silence of the universe. Looking at that distant photograph, Carl Sagan once said, "On that dot, everyone you love, everyone you know, every human being who ever was lived out their lives." That speck of dust is proof of how fragile we are in the face of the universe's immensity. Yet at the same time, our greatest triumph is that something so small can ask such enormous questions. Perhaps this is the purpose of the universe, to need eyes that can see it and minds that can understand it. We are beings made of stardust, and in a way, we are the universe's method of examining itself. If one day that record falls into the hands of an alien species, they may remember us as a kind that was afraid of being alone, yet never gave up exploring. Maybe we won't receive the first message, we will write it. And perhaps the silence is simply the universe's way of telling us, know your own worth, because in this vast emptiness, all we truly have is each other. Remember, we are those rare moments when the universe becomes aware of itself. If you enjoyed videos like this, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel and click the bell to stay notified about new videos. Catch you later.